WKLH, you're listening to Giving Tuesday, a holiday of miracles. We're taking advantage of the fact that today, worldwide, is Giving Tuesday. And we're asking you to give whatever you can to one of the most important places, at least to us, in the whole world. When I say us, I mean, I don't know, people who care about kids, people who live in Wisconsin. That's pretty much all of us, isn't it? Joining us right now, very special guest, Meg Olson. Hi, Meg. How are you?
Hi, Dave. I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing well. We're kind of all separated. You can see that because of the situation that we're dealing with. And it's kind of odd because you actually live not too far from the station, right? You in Tosa?
Yes, Wauwatosa.
That's really strange. But here we are in Tosa as well, and talking about what is not just a world-class facility, but is a place that allowed you to enjoy each and every day so far with your beautiful daughter, Olivia. Now, she was born when?
She was born last September 2019. So she's 15 months today, actually.
Why don't you give us a little background? Doreen and I need to know, that our listeners need to know, what was your experience and your interaction with children's, and what have you been going through with Olivia?
So Olivia was diagnosed prenatally with a condition called hypoplastic left heart syndrome, which essentially means that she was born with only half of a heart. So her left ventricle was underdeveloped. And so we found that out at 32 weeks when I was pregnant. So about 6 weeks before she was born. So we had been receiving care at a different facility here in the Milwaukee area. And so when we found out, we hurried to transfer care over to Children's. We were referred to the Fetal Concerns Center with the Herma Heart Institute, and got all of the information just a few weeks before she was born. So that was kind of a blessing and a curse, because we were able to enjoy, a lot of the pregnancy without that really heavy stress of, knowing that there was something big and very different than what we had envisioned. This is our first pregnancy, our first daughter. So it was devastating to find out, but I would say when we initially found out, here we're thinking that we might need to go, to the West Coast, to Texas, to the East Coast to find her the best care, and come to find out that the Herma Heart Center is one of the best heart hospitals in the world. And it was only 5 minutes away from our house. So that was probably the best gift that we could have asked for. So, we were able to, families traveling in from all over the world to get treatment at this facility. And here we are able to commute from our own home. So that was our prenatal experience, just kind of finding out and getting that prenatal care from the Fetal Concern Center. I would say right from the very beginning, from our first appointment, we knew that Children's was different. The doctors, the nurses walked us through and helped us coordinate everything we could possibly need. And they helped us transfer our care. They made sure that we were as informed as we wanted and needed to be, to make sure that we were prepared for the coming months.
And what happened after Olivia was born?
Right.
So she was born on September 19th of 2019. We had been prepared ahead of time that we might not get to spend a whole lot of time with her right after she was born. It's with this kind of heart condition, there are a lot of variables that, they need to be taken into consideration. However, when she was born, she was healthy, and I was able to hold her and spend about 10 minutes with her before they took her away for testing to confirm the diagnosis. And what they do is they gave her a medication to keep a shunt in her heart open, so that she can, essentially her surgery was 4 days after she was born. So we were able to spend 4 days with her before she had to go into surgery. So that was incredible. Those first few days with her, where, we didn't have to rush into surgery. I mean, 4 days was pretty rushed, but we at least had some time with her. So typically hypoplastic left heart syndrome is, if not treated, it's a fatal condition, because the heart isn't able to pump blood into the body. So we had 4 days with her, and then she went into surgery on day 4. And that was probably one of the scariest days of our lives.
How long were you there at the hospital, and how many surgeries has Olivia had?
We spent 115 days in the cardiac ICU. So it was a nice stay. We called our the unit that we were in, it was our apartment. It became our home. We were there for quite a while. We hadn't been planning necessarily to spend that much time there. So she's had 2 surgeries, and typically with her condition, it requires 3 surgeries. So we have 1 more surgery coming up. That will probably happen when she's between 2.5 and 3 years old. So her first surgery was called the Norwood procedure. She had that at 4 days old. And her second surgery, called the Glenn, happened when she was 4 months old. So occasionally kids with this condition are able to go home in between the 2 surgeries. With Olivia, that she did fantastic through surgery. She recovered really, really well, where we came into a lot of roadblocks. Oddly enough, something that seemed so simple was eating. So we had to, make sure that she was gaining weight. And with her condition, her heart was working 3 to 5 times harder than either your heart or my heart was working. So if you think about it, the body, she just required more energy and more food, and she wasn't able to eat that much all on her own. So we spent a lot of time working with the doctors and nurses on, helping her learn how to eat as much as she could from the bottle, and then supplementing where she needed it to make sure that she was gaining weight. Because one of the most important things in preparation for that second surgery is making sure that the babies are big enough to and healthy enough to be able to handle that second procedure.
Meg,
so we spent a lot of time.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just going to ask you about what it feels like to wake up on, let's see, Thanksgiving or Christmas, and you're in the hospital with your little baby.
It was quite an experience. It was so different than we would have ever imagined Christmas morning to be. However, the doctors and nurses, kind of leading into the holidays and through that time period, and the whole time we were there, were incredible. They were our family. So even though we didn't get to spend Christmas morning with our extended family, we had me, my husband, Dan, and Olivia, and our nurse and doctor family. We're all there together. We decorated our room like it was our house, and we brought in a Christmas tree. So we really tried to make it special, even though it was different than what we had envisioned our first Christmas to be. One of my favorite parts about it was, for our Christmas tree, we had all of our friends and family send in a Christmas ornament that reminded us of them. So our Christmas tree was full of all of these beautiful ornaments sent from friends and family. So even though we weren't able, to be there and to celebrate with all of our family and friends, we had that fabulous reminder on Christmas morning. And I would say it was very special in a different but really amazing way.
We saw Olivia briefly right before we started this. So how is she now? She seems like she's great.
You wouldn't know that she's undergone 2 heart surgeries. She's exactly where she should be developmentally full of energy. She loves to eat. With all the struggles we had early on with eating, you wouldn't even know it. She'll eat half an avocado in one sitting.
Wow.
She's a bottomless pit. So she's doing fantastic. So we, from a medical standpoint, we have we meet with our cardiologist every few months, and our next appointment with them will be in January, where we have a cath lab procedure scheduled, just to help with her heart efficiency, just to give us a little more time before her third surgery, which will be, again, likely between 2.5 and 3 years old.
Meg, you've already alluded to the fact that you were kind of surprised initially to find out that Children's Wisconsin is considered one of the finest care facilities, not just for the Herma Heart Center, but in so many different specialties. So aside from that, your experience with Children's, was there anything surprising about it? Did you learn anything about it? Did you meet any other moms and dads or patients over there that made you just realize, because I don't think you realized it. I know I didn't until I needed to take our kids there. And then, of course, subsequent to that, grandchildren to Children's. You don't really realize what a special place it is. It's kind of the first interaction you have is kind of blows you away, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Absolutely. We did meet other families while we were there. Our neighbor at one point, actually, their daughter had the same condition as Olivia. So, that was pretty incredible to be able to, share journeys. And
Right.
we went on a couple of walks through the healing garden, which, if anyone's ever been to Children's, it's just, it allows you to be outside without actually, getting discharged when you're
Right.
stuck up in the ICU. So we had an awesome, experience there. I think the most special part about Children's is the care providers that they have there, both the nurses and the doctor team. I can't say enough amazing things about the team of doctors that they have. I think the best part was seeing, a team of 10, 15 doctors working with Olivia, collaborating. You've got doctors from all over the world here in this ICU, not only working together among themselves, but also bringing me and Dan into the conversation as well. And they considered us to be part of her care team. We weren't just bystanders. We were part of the decisions that they were making. They collaborated with us. They allowed us to be part of the process, which for us was really important. We want to know everything about the condition, everything about how we can help her. So that was really special that they allowed us to have that, type of relationship with them. So that made that experience really special. And I would say, lastly, the nurses were out of this world. Again, they became part of our family. They did crafts for Olivia. They dressed her up and put bows on her head every day. They looked forward to it. It was just like the most incredible thing. And to be able to trust the people, when your kiddo's in the ICU, and to be able to know that you're leaving her in the best possible care, just there aren't words for it. They were absolutely mind-blowing, incredible. It was the best part. And I think, we'll have lifelong friends coming out of the experience, just given how raw and emotional it was. And they were just there picking us up on the worst days and laughing along on the best days. So it was truly incredible.
It's a very special place, and that's why we are honored to be a part of this. And we hope that your story will motivate somebody to actually donate some money, because it does do a world of good. Children's Wisconsin is a very special place, and very special mom. Meg, thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing your story, and God bless you and Olivia, and good luck to you guys in the future. Thanks.
Thank you for having us.
All right, take care. There's Meg right there. And Meg Olson is a perfect prime example of someone who, prior to the birth of her beautiful daughter, never really had to use Children's, but now knows just how special the place is. Let's pray you never have to use it, but it's there if you need it. And if you can see your way clear, Giving Tuesday, a holiday of miracles, continues on KLH.